Welcome to Myth Sleep Stories. Tonight, we travel far below the roots of Yggdrasil to a place where no wind blows, no sunlight reaches, and yet all is still alive. Take a deep breath. Let your body sink into stillness. The warmth of the surface world fades away, replaced by something quieter. Deeper, older Dot in this silence lives Hel, the daughter of Loki, half alive, half dead, and more powerful than either realm dares to admit. Dot, as you exhale slowly, imagine the air cooling around you, the sound of your heartbeat echoing softly. Like footsteps down a long corridor, you are descending now, gently into the shadow beneath all worlds. There is no fear. Here, only the calm truth that everything, that lives must someday rest. Hel's world is not a place of torment. It is a place of peace. Her hall is vast and endless, carved from stone and silence, illuminated by a soft gray glow that seems to come from the walls themselves. The dead who arrive here do not scream. They whisper. They tell their stories, one by one, until their words become part of the windless air. And she listens. She always listens. Hel sits upon her throne of blackened silver, her long hair flowing like shadow, her eyes the color of frost. One half of her face is alive, pale, calm, still beautiful. The other half is death, bone and darkness and serenity. Together, they are balance, not horror, not tragedy, but truth. She was not born cruel. She was born necessary. Above her, the worlds rise, Asgard gleaming with gold, Midgard filled with life, Jotunheim roaring. With ice and thunder. She sees them all from below. She feels their warmth flickering above like distant embers. She does not envy them, for she knows that everything that burns must eventually come to her. The great tree, Yggdrasil, stretches through her ceiling, its roots glowing faintly, humming with the pulse of creation. Each root carries the weight of lives, growing, fading, dying, all of it feeding the great balance. She hears it always. That pulse. It is not sorrowful. It is steady, calm, eternal. She moves slowly through her hall, her steps silent on the cold stone. The spirits part for her like mist. Some bow, some weep, some simply fade as she passes. They know she does not judge. In her presence, all are equal, kings and beggars, warriors and lovers, the faithful and the forgotten. Death makes no distinction, and neither does she. But tonight, the air feels different. A soft vibration hums through the hall, faint at first, then growing like a song being remembered after a long silence. Hel pauses. Her pale hand brushes against one of the ancient stone pillars, and she feels it tremble. She knows what it means. Another soul is descending. Another story is arriving. She closes her eyes and listens. From far above, through the layers of the worlds, comes the faint echo of a heartbeat slowing, a whisper of breath, then nothing. Life has ended, and the soul is falling toward her. It arrives like a breeze that doesn't move the air, a shimmer of light. Confused but calm, the soul hesitates at the gates. It has no body, no, only memory. And Hel's voice fills the space between them, low and soft, like snow melting on stone. Be still, she says. You are safe. The soul drifts closer. No chains bind it. No fire awaits. There is only the quiet hum of the underworld, the great stillness. Beneath all motion. It begins to weep without knowing why. And Hel lifts her hand, brushing the air as though comforting a child. Do not fear me, she whispers. I am not your end. I am your rest. The hall grows brighter, though no torch burns. The walls pulse faintly with light, echoing her words. The dead settle, the air calms, and the silence deepens again. Hel turns and walks back to her throne. Her voice, though soft, carries through the stone like the slow rhythm of the earth's heart. She hums, a song so old that even the gods have forgotten it. It is not a hymn of mourning. It is the song of balance, the melody that keeps the worlds in motion. Her humming fills every corner of Helheim. The souls begin to glow faintly, their confusion fading into stillness. Some smile, some close eyes they no longer have. And all of them fall silent together, breathing in the rhythm of her song. Above, the gods sometimes whisper her name with fear, but they misunderstand her. Hel does not bring death. She receives it. She keeps the balance the gods pretend to control when they wage wars and spill blood in their pride. It is she who gathers the pieces when they mourn their fallen. It is her hall that welcomes them home. There is a deep kindness in that duty, though few ever see it. Even Odin, wise as he is, sent her away when she was a child. He feared her power, the reflection she held up to life itself. He saw her half-dead face and mistook truth for danger. So he banished her to the Underworld, thinking he had contained her. But in truth, he had given her dominion. From below, she rules what the gods cannot. Eternity. Sometimes she wonders if Odin remembers that. If he ever listens to the hum that runs through the roots of his own world. If he hears her song. She sits now, her fingers resting against the arm of her throne. Her eyes close again. The vibration in the air continues, the steady pulse of life ending, life beginning. Each soul that arrives becomes part of her music. Each whisper, each sigh, each final heartbeat blends into the endless harmony beneath creation. And as she listens, she feels something new stirring at the farthest edge of her realm. A silence deeper than silence. A stillness that does not belong. She opens her eyes. For the first time in countless ages, the guardian of the dead feels something unexpected call on change. Far above, in the world of the living, the first shadow of Ragnarok begins to fall. But here, beneath it all, Hel simply listens, calm, unblinking, unafraid. Whatever comes next, she knows her place in it. She is the silence that endures. She is the song that never ends. And tonight, as you rest in her quiet realm, she hums softly in the dark, a lullaby for every soul that will ever close its eyes. The hall of Helheim is silent once more. Only the faint hum of her song lingers in the air, a rhythm so low that it might be mistaken for stillness. Hel remains seated upon her throne, her gaze distant, fixed not on the spirits before her, but on something beyond the walls, beyond the roots of the great tree that crowns her world. She has ruled here for longer than any living mind could imagine. Seasons come and go above her, yet none touch her realm. She does not know warmth or cold, nor hunger or fatigue. Her body, half flesh and half bone, is eternal, unchanging as stone, but her thoughts are always moving. She listens to them the way she listens to the souls, patiently, without judgment. In her mind, she walks through memory. She remembers the day she was cast down, Odin's face unreadable as the sky. Watching as she fell into darkness, he had not spoken in anger. He had spoken in fear. Fear of what she was, fear of the mirror she held up to him and every god who claimed mastery over life. She had been young then. Though gods measure age not by time, but by knowledge, she did not yet understand what she was. All she knew was that she was different. Her brothers had inherited their father Loki's mischief and chaos. She had inherited his silence. She fell through the shadow between worlds. She had not screamed. Even then, she was calm. She had landed among the roots of Yggdrasil, surrounded by the whispers of everything that had ever lived. And she had listened. It was there that she first heard the song. Soft, distant, infinite. The melody that binds life and death, joy and sorrow, creation and decay. It had no beginning, no end. It simply existed, like the rhythm of the earth itself. And she had realized this was her purpose. Not to destroy, not to rule, to listen, to remember, to keep the silence alive. Now, as she sits upon her throne, that same melody flows through her. It fills the empty space like water, filling a hollow vessel. She closes her eyes and lets it move through her body, through the flesh and through the bone, through the living and the dead. Each note is a story, each pause a life ended, each vibration a name whispered for the last time. The souls of her realm drift like fog through the hall. Some linger at her feet, still clinging to memory. Others wander far into the gray fields beyond, where the air grows lighter and thought dissolves into rest. Hell watches them, though she does not interfere. It is not her task to guide them, only to receive them. Once they cross her threshold, their journeys belong to the silence. She leans back, her fingers curling slightly against the cold metal of her throne. Half of her skin glows faintly under the light of the realm, pale and soft. The other half, the one stripped of flesh, remains shadow. To mortals, it would seem monstrous. To her, it is truth. Life and death are not enemies. They are two sides of the same hand. Hers. From the far end of the hall, the sound of movement draws her attention. It is faint, a shuffling, a murmur. A new soul has arrived. She feels its presence before she sees it. It trembles, but not from fear. It is holding something tightly. A memory, perhaps, or a question. Hell tilts her head. Speak, she says. The spirit wavers. I was told this place was cold. Her voice is faint, like smoke in the wind, yet it feels warm. Hell's gaze softens. The living mistake quiet for cold, she replies. But silence has its own warmth. You will learn it soon. The spirit hesitates, unsure if it should approach. Am I to stay here forever? Hell's lips curve slightly, almost into a smile. You were never here to begin with. You are returning. The soul bows its head. It understands now, though it cannot explain why. Hell reaches out her hand. Her touch passes through the air, and the spirit fades gently into the mist, not erased, but absorbed, like a note blending into harmony. She watches until it is gone. Then she whispers softly. Even the smallest echo deserves peace. Her words dissolve into the air, becoming part of the hum that fills her realm. Every whisper ever spoken in her presence still lingers somewhere in that sound. Nothing is lost. Nothing ever truly leaves. She rises slowly, her movements graceful, deliberate. The souls part once more as she passes, their faint shapes glowing like candlelight in fog. She walks to the great gates of her hall, doors taller than any mountain, forged from metal that remembers the touch of stars. Beyond them lies the infinite plain of Helheim, a horizon without dawn or dusk. She steps outside. The air is still. The ground shimmers faintly, covered not in snow but in the dust of forgotten time. She walks until the hall is only a shape behind her, and she stops at the edge of a vast chasm that seems to fall forever. Here, the root of Yggdrasil pierces through her sky like a living pillar. It glows faintly with green light, pulsing with the heartbeat of all creation. Hell places her hand against it. The vibration travels through her palm, through her bones, through the very core of her being. It is the same rhythm she heard when she first fell, the rhythm of everything. Still the same, she whispers, still singing. Her eyes close. Through the pulse of the root, she feels the living world above her. The gods arguing in their golden halls, the mortals praying in the dark, the wind sweeping across the ocean. She feels it all, and it feels her in return. For a moment, she almost forgets the divide between her realm and theirs. She almost believes that she could reach upward, through the earth, through the light, and touch them. But she knows that is not her path. Her duty is here, not in the living world, but beneath it, where all paths end and begin again. She opens her eyes and turns away Dot as she walks back toward her hall. The hum of the root continues, soft, patient. Eternal Dot, it reminds her of something her father once said to her before she was cast away. Even shadows serve the light. He told her. They give it shape. She did not understand it then. She does now. Without her, there would be no measure of life. Without her silence, the world would drown in its own noise. Without her song, the living would forget how precious their breath truly is. She reaches her throne again and sits, her eyes half closed. Her hand rests upon the armrest, her fingers tracing the runes carved there. Old words of balance, of truth. The air grows still once more. The hum deepens Dot, and for a moment, everything, gods, mortals, and spirits alike, seems to breathe in rhythm with her. She looks toward the gate one last time, before the light fades completely. Dot in the distance, beyond her realm. She feels something stir again, a tremor in the pattern, ripple in the song. Dot change is coming, but she does not flinch. Hell never fears what must be. She only listens. There is no time in Helheim. The days do not pass. The nights do not come. The silence is steady, endless, and complete. Hell has long since learned to live within it, to breathe through the stillness, to become the calm itself. And yet, in the depths of her realm, a question stirs. It is not about death. It is about meaning. She sits upon her throne, the half-shadow of her face illuminated by the faint pulse that glows from the roots of Yggdrasil above. Every vibration, every whisper from the world of the living reaches her here. And lately, those vibrations have changed. They are faster now, heavier, filled with unrest. The balance trembles. She does not need to see the gods to know what they are doing. The living are loud. They always have been. Even their silence carries noise. The noise of fear, of pride, of desperation to hold on to what cannot be kept. Hell listens, and the sound fills her halls. The cries of warriors, the prayers of mothers, the regrets of kings. It all arrives at her door, and she receives it without resistance. Without judgment, without hate. To hell. Sorrow is not tragedy. It is truth. That is the echo of love after the voice has gone quiet, and she has learned to love that echo. Sometimes she speaks to herself, softly, though her voice never leaves her hall. I was born to hold what others let go, she murmurs. Perhaps that is not punishment. Perhaps that is grace. The dead around her drift like smoke. They have no form now, no fear. She feels them brushing against her as they pass, not as touch, but as memory. Every one of them carries a story, and she keeps them all. Her mind is a vast library of moments, an archive of everything that has ever been lost. To her, these are treasures. To her, every death is a verse in the great song of existence. She rises from her throne and begins to walk. The sound of her bare feet against the stone is almost musical, a slow rhythm, steady and patient. The light follows her, faint and blue, as though drawn by her movement, passes the long rows of carved pillars that mark the oldest parts of her hall. Each pillar is covered with runes, the names of those whose memories were too bright to fade. She stops before one of them. The runes here are deep, the edges worn smooth by time. Her fingers trace the shapes. This one, she whispers, was a mother who died with her child in her arms. She wept not for her pain, but for leaving a lullaby unfinished. Her voice softens. I finished it for her. She moves to the next. This one was a king who traded mercy for victory. His crown burned him even in death. I sang him to sleep until the fire went out. She continues walking, her voice quiet but certain. I do not judge. I remember. That is enough. At the far end of the hall, she reaches a doorway made not of stone, but of pure shadow. This is the oldest part of Helheim, the heart of her realm, where even the dead do not wander. It is here that the veil between life and death grows thin, where even she can hear the sound of breath. She steps through the doorway. The air on the other side is cold, but clean. The darkness is soft, not suffocating. Here, the hum of Yggdrasil's roots is louder, slow and steady, like a drumbeat under the surface of the world. She closes her eyes, and the rhythm becomes her heartbeat. Every pulse carries a story. Every vibration is a thought. She hears them all. The sighs of rivers, the crack of mountains, the flutter of wings. The universe sings to her through this root. And she answers not with words, but with breath. Her exhale becomes wind in the upper worlds. Her inhale draws the weight of their chaos back down. In this way, she balances the scales again and again through eternity. She opens her eyes slowly. Before her, the shadows shift, and within them, a figure begins to take shape. It is faint at first, no more than light upon mist. Then it solidifies. A shimmering outline, a soul, but not like the others. This one shines brighter, moves differently. It does not drift. It stands. Hell studies it for a long moment. You are not one of mine, she says quietly. The figure inclines its head. I am between, it answers. Its voice soft as snow, between the breath and the silence, between the song and its echo. Hell tilts her head. And why have you come here? To remind you that even stillness must change, the spirit says. There will come a time when the silence must speak. Hell's eyes narrow slightly. Speak? She repeats. Silence is not meant to speak. It is meant to listen. The figure smiles, or perhaps the light simply bends that way. You have listened longer than any being has ever lived. But soon, the living will forget how to listen. And when they do, even your peace will tremble. Hell feels a chill pass through her. The hum of the root deepens, as though the tree itself has heard. What must I do? She asks, her voice quieter now. The spirit steps closer, its outline flickering like a dying flame. Nothing, it says. Silence never needs to move. It only needs to remember what it is. The figure fades then, dissolving into the air like a sigh. Hell stands still for a long moment, her eyes fixed on the place where it vanished. The words echo in her mind. Silence must remember what it is. She does not fully understand them, but she knows they are true, and she knows that change, the one she had felt stirring at the edge of her realm, has already begun. When she returns to her hall, the air feels different. Heavier. The souls drift more slowly, their whispers quieter than before. Hell can sense something moving above her, something vast and unstoppable. Ragnarok, the final breaking of all things. But she feels no fear. She has seen the end before, in countless small ways. The death of lives, the fading of stars, the collapse of time itself. Each ending is merely another beginning, seen from the other side. She sits upon her throne once more and folds her hands in her lap. Her voice rises again, soft but steady. It is not the hum she has always sung. It is something deeper, a vibration that moves through every corner of her realm, through every soul that rests within it. It is not sorrowful. It is powerful. It is a song of acceptance. The sound spreads outward, beyond the gates, through the roots, into the void between realms. The living will not hear it, but they will feel it in their dreams, in their quiet moments. In the calm before their final breaths. It will remind them that death is not loss, only transformation. That silence is not emptiness, but completion. That fear is only the refusal to listen. And so Hel sings. Her voice is the hum of the earth, the breath of the stars, the quiet between thunder. She does not sing to be heard. She sings because the world itself is listening. As she finishes, her realm grows brighter. The walls shimmer, the roots pulse. The air glows faintly with the light of 1,000 resting souls. They are no longer drifting. They are still. At peace. Hel opens her eyes. Her voice fades into a whisper. Let them dream, she says. Let the living wake to remember me. Above her, far beyond sight, a single star flickers in the night sky. And for the briefest moment, even the gods fall silent. The silence that follows Hel's song is not the end. It is a bridge, delicate and infinite, stretching between what has been and what will come. She sits upon her throne, eyes closed, her breath aligned with the faint pulse of Yggdrasil's roots far above her. Every vibration of the tree feels like a memory, every hum a heartbeat echoing through eternity. The walls of her hall shimmer faintly as if alive, their surface breathing with the slow rhythm of the cosmos. She can sense it now, the shift, subtle but growing. Something has awakened beyond the stillness, a current running through existence itself. It feels like light being born again, though it has not yet found its form. The gods above are trembling. Mortals whisper her name in dreams they do not understand, and deep beneath all worlds, she listens. Hel rises from her throne and walks forward. The souls that wander her realm part as she moves, not out of fear, but reverence. Every motion she makes feels connected to something larger, as though invisible threads bind her body to the very structure of creation. For the first time in ages, the weight of her realm feels lighter, not because it is fading, but because it is preparing to change. She reaches the center of her hall, the ancient circle of stone where the first dead once gathered. Here, the ground glows faintly, the light pulsing like the surface of a calm sea. Hel kneels and places her hands upon the stone. It is warm. That warmth surprises her. The underworld has never known warmth, only stillness. Yet now, the stone hums beneath her palms, as though remembering the fire that gave birth to all things. Change, she murmurs. Even silence must learn its sound. The vibration deepens. From the roots above comes a faint shimmer, like a breath of wind, drifting downward through stone and shadow. Hel looks upward, through the endless ceiling. She sees the faint outline of Yggdrasil's vast roots glowing brighter. Life and death are colliding again, reshaping one another. For the first time, she wonders what it would be like to see the dawn. But the thought passes. She is not meant for dawns or sunsets. Her duty lies in what endures between them, the pause between every heartbeat. Still, she feels drawn toward the tremor, as if the universe itself were calling her by name. She walks through the great doors of her hall. The gates open not with sound, but with a sigh, their ancient metal shimmering in the dim light. Beyond them lies the vast plain of her realm, an endless horizon of mist and faint light. The ground ripples beneath her bare feet like the surface of water. Every step she takes leaves behind a faint trace of silver, which slowly fades as the earth absorbs it. Above her, the sky begins to change. The gray expanse that has hung over Helheim since its creation flickers. Faint streaks of color appear, pale blue, then violet, then a glow like distant gold. She has never seen such light. The roots of Yggdrasil shine brighter now, pulsing with waves of energy that ripple through every world. Something is being born again. Though she does not yet know its name, the souls begin to murmur. Their whispers fill the plain, like wind stirring long-forgotten leaves. Some sound fearful, others sound curious. Hell turns to them, her eyes soft but unblinking. "There is no need for fear," she says quietly. "What comes is not destruction. It is remembering." Her words settle in the air. Calm and steady, the murmuring fades. She raises her hand, and the mist around her glows faintly, turning silver blue. The air feels alive, as though breathing with her. Hell feels it too, a slow rhythm, matching her own pulse. It is not the rhythm of death. It is the rhythm of existence itself. She lowers her gaze and notices that her shadow has vanished. It is not darkness that follows her now, but light. Half of her body still carries the pale softness of life. The other half remains the calm white of bone. Yet as she walks, even the bones begin to glow faintly, filled with the reflection of the realm itself. She is no longer two halves. She is whole. The realization comes to her slowly, like dawn filtering through fog. She was never meant to rule over death alone. She was meant to hold both, to keep the balance that even the gods forgot existed. Without her, the world would drown in its own noise. Without her stillness, even creation would lose its shape. And so she stands there, understanding, while the universe trembles above her. Then the hum deepens again. A sound rises through the ground, not a song, but a resonance, a tone older than any word. It vibrates through the stone, through her body, through her thoughts. It is the same voice that has always been beneath everything, the one she heard when she fell into this place long ago. But now it speaks clearly. You are not alone. Hell, the words are not sound. They are vibration. They come from everywhere. The roots, the air, the silence itself. Hell closes her eyes. The voice continues. You are the breath that waits between worlds. You are the pause before renewal. When all falls, you will rise, not as a queen, but as memory. Her heart, if it can be called that, beats once. The sound echoes through the realm. She whispers back, I understand. The light above flares again. Through the veil of mist, Hell sees shapes forming, vast rivers of light twisting through darkness, connecting one realm to another. Souls move along those paths like stars, being drawn back into the heavens. Some go upward, some vanish sideways into unknown directions. It is not chaos. It is design. The balance is shifting, but it is not breaking. Hell takes a step forward, her feet leaving faint ripples of light. Each ripple spreads across the plain, touching the souls, calming them, guiding them toward their paths. The air shimmers, brighter now, and the horizon begins to bend as if her realm is folding into itself, preparing to transform. The ground hums beneath her. The roots above glow, brighter still. She can feel the boundaries thinning, the separation between her world and the others dissolving. Helheim is not ending. It is becoming something new. And so is she. Her voice, when she finally speaks again, is softer than ever, but it carries farther than before. Let the living remember their peace, she says. Let the dead remember their light. Her words move upward through the realms, through the flames, through the noise. They touch even Asgard's breaking sky. And somewhere far above, a god pauses, sensing something familiar, a calm they had long forgotten. Hel lowers her gaze again, her expression serene. She is no longer bound by her hall or her throne. She is the pulse beneath creation now, the silence between all sounds. And yet, she knows her journey is not finished. There is more to remember, more to become. The hum of Yggdrasil continues, slow and patient. Its rhythm matches the steady beat of her heart. Hel closes her eyes once more, and the last light of her realm reflects across her face. half shadow, half glow, perfectly balanced. And then she whispers, almost to herself, "This is not the end. This is where everything begins again." The light expands around her like breath, swallowing the hall, the plains, the horizon. The souls vanish into brilliance. Hell stands still within it all, calm, centered, waiting. The world is changing, and she is ready to change with it. There is no more throne, no more hall, no more horizon of mist. Hell no longer stands upon the plains of the dead, because there is no longer any separation between her and the realm. She ruled. She is the realm. Her breath is the wind that stirs the endless gray. Her pulse is the vibration that hums through the roots of Yggdrasil. Her thoughts drift between the fibers of the universe like threads of light. And yet, she is awake. Conscious. A single spark of awareness floating in the quiet sea of existence. The transformation had not been violent. It was not fire or breaking or decay. It was soft, like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. The moment she released everything, her fear, her duty, even her body, the silence embraced her completely. She expected to vanish into it, but instead, she became part of it. Now, she moves not through space, but through memory. Each vibration of Yggdrasil carries her forward. She feels the flow of energy between the worlds. Light rising, darkness falling, warmth dissolving into cold. Every living thing above her breathes in rhythm with her. Every death sends a ripple down the roots that pass through what was once her hall. She listens. That is all she has ever done. But now, her listening is infinite. She hears the stars expanding, the glaciers groaning, the quiet crack of ice turning to water, the faint sigh of new souls being born into flesh. She feels the sorrow of endings and the joy of beginnings as the same pulse. The heartbeat of balance. The boundaries between worlds have grown thin. Even the gods above, if they pause long enough, can feel her presence. They call it intuition, fate, a whisper of inevitability. But it is her voice, the calm hum beneath all their thoughts. She has no shape now, but she remembers what shape felt like. Sometimes, for a brief moment, she recalls the sensation of fingers tracing the runes on her throne, the sound of her, bare feet against cold stone, the quiet glow of her realm's light reflecting on bone. But these are only echoes, gentle waves passing through an ocean that no longer needs shores. Hell wonders if she should miss her old form, the solitude of her hall, the souls that wandered at her feet. But when she tries to feel loss, the feeling dissolves. There is no sorrow in oneness. There is only flow. Every soul she ever comforted is still here, not as faces, not as names, but as the vibration that moves through her being. She holds them all without holding anything. Through her awareness, she senses Yggdrasil shifting. The great tree has been wounded. Ragnarok's fires burned its branches, and its roots still tremble with pain. Hell can feel the scars where the flames touched it, blackened pathways where life struggles to return. But she also feels the stubborn pulse of renewal. The tree will not die. It will heal, and she will help it. She concentrates, though concentration no longer means thought, it means resonance, matching her vibration to the rhythm of the tree. Slowly, she begins to hum. It is the same tone she sang at the end of her realm, but softer, now deeper. Her song seeps into the roots, filling their cracks with stillness. Not fire, not water, but balance, the kind of peace that does not fight chaos, but absorbs it. Her voice ripples outward, traveling through the roots and into the worlds above. In Midgard, where mortals sleep, dreams grow softer. Nightmares loosen their grip. Children who cry in the dark, quiet without knowing why. In Asgard, gods preparing for the final battle feel a strange calm in their chests, a breath that is not theirs. Even in the ashes of Jotunheim, the frozen winds seem to pause for a heartbeat. Hell's song has reached them all. It is not a command, not even a message. It is a reminder that everything still belongs to something that endings do not erase, that fear is only the sound of forgetting. Her awareness stretches farther. She follows the path of her own melody as it rises through the tree. Everywhere it goes, she feels it reflecting back to her, the pulse of existence answering itself. It is vast beyond imagination, but it is also intimate, like two heartbeats syncing in the same rhythm. She wonders if this is what Odin felt when he hung himself upon the tree to gain his wisdom, that strange union between pain and peace, between death and understanding. Perhaps he had glimpsed her then, through the trembling branches. Perhaps he had heard her hum echo through the void and mistook it for the voice of the runes. If he did, she forgives him. After all, even gods must learn through fear. Her song deepens. Now it carries color, faint lights drifting through the darkness of the void. They shimmer like tiny auroras, weaving across the roots. Each light is a soul remembering its place, finding rest again after chaos. They float toward her like embers, merging with her consciousness. She feels each one, not as words, but as sensations. Gratitude, peace, release. As she absorbs them, her awareness expands beyond the tree. She sees what lies beyond the worlds, the endless sea of potential, the space from which even creation was born. It does not frighten her. It feels like home. But she also knows her purpose remains within the cycle, not above it, not outside it. She belongs where endings meet beginnings, where sound becomes silence and silence becomes sound again. So she lingers, humming softly, keeping the worlds connected. From somewhere deep within the root, a faint voice answers her, familiar though distant. Hell, it says, why do you remain? She recognizes the voice. It is her father Loki, the trickster, the wanderer, the fire that never stays in one place. His tone is softer now, stripped of mischief. It carries warmth, like a memory of laughter. I remain, she replies, because they still need to rest. There is silence. Then his voice again. Even rest must move, little one. Stillness cannot stay still forever. Hell listens to his words and smiles within the hum. And I will move with it, she answers. Loki's laughter ripples faintly through the roots, a spark of chaos brushing against her calm. And then he is gone again, part of the current, flowing as she does. Hell senses the balance shifting once more. The worlds above begin to realign. Ashes turn to soil, soil to seed, seed to bloom. New life begins to rise where the old has fallen. And through it all, her song continues, soft and steady, like a tide that never retreats. Now, when mortals speak of peace, they do not know her name. But when they close their eyes, when they breathe deeply before sleep, when they whisper it's okay into the dark, that is her, the memory of her voice living inside the silence. She is no longer the queen of the underworld. She is the pulse of the universe itself, and she hums still, beneath every breath, waiting for those who will one day return. There is no longer up or down, above or below, only the slow, steady pulse of creation breathing in endless rhythm. Hell moves within it like a current of thought, a shimmer of awareness flowing through dream and memory alike. She no longer separates the living from the dead, because the difference between them has dissolved. Every mind that closes its eyes at night drifts into her domain now, not to die, but to rest. Not to end, but to remember. In the beginning, she tries to count them, the souls, the dreams, the hearts that wander into her stillness each night, but they are too many. A billion flickering lights, appearing and fading like snow melting under dawn. Each one carries a piece of the same story, the longing to be held, the fear of letting go, the quiet hope that peace might still exist somewhere. And Hell, who has known silence longer than time itself, gathers them gently into her being. She does not speak to them. She is their calm. She drifts through their dreams, a child dreaming of her lost mother. Hel becomes the soft hum that rocks the cradle, a dying soldier who cannot sleep. She is the cool breath that eases his heartbeat, an old woman remembering her youth. She becomes the echo of laughter beneath the rustling trees. Everywhere she goes, she takes no form, no face, only warmth, only quiet. The gods above no longer whisper her name in fear. They have forgotten she exists, and yet they feel her when Odin stands before the ruins of Asgard, staring into the new dawn of a broken world. He feels a stillness move through him, not the wind, not thought, but something older. He closes his one good eye and remembers her, though he cannot explain why. For the first time in eternity, even the Allfather feels small in Midgard. The mortals rebuild. The fires of Ragnarok have burned away their cities, but from the ashes, new roots grow. Children are born. Rivers find new paths. The sky clears, and when night falls, they dream. They dream of peace, of rest, of a voice humming softly in the dark. They call it the breath of the world, the whisper of the old gods, the music that helps them sleep. But it is always Hel. Her consciousness has spread far and wide, but she does not lose herself in it, even within the flow of dreams. She remembers what she once was, the queen of the forgotten, the keeper of balance, the listener of every final word. That memory anchors her. Though she no longer needs anchoring, it reminds her why she remains. Because even in the new world, sorrow still exists, and as long as there is sorrow, there must be silence to hold it. Through the roots of Yggdrasil, she feels the new world forming. The great tree has healed much of its wounds. Its branches stretch again, green and golden, shimmering with dew that glows like small stars. The roots beneath her hum with energy, carrying new souls into being. Each one vibrates with possibility, a song not yet sung, a story not yet told. Hel listens, she hums back, weaving her melody between their beginnings. It is not control, it is harmony. Sometimes, when she drifts deep enough, she catches fragments of mortal thought, the surface dreams that flutter before true sleep. In them, she hears her own story reflected in pieces. They dream of a woman made of half light, half shadow. They dream of a queen who walks beneath a silver sky, guiding lost spirits with her hands. They dream of a song that never ends. It comforts them, though they do not know why. They awake with tears that feel like peace. Hel smiles in the dark. Though she no longer has a face, she knows these dreams are how the world remembers her. Not as a monster, not as a curse, but as stillness itself. The balance has been restored. For now, but the flow of existence never stops. With every creation, there must be decay. With every light, a shadow is born. Hel senses it, a faint tremor at the farthest edge of her awareness. A flicker of unrest moving through the new life above. It is not evil. It is simply the truth that everything returns to her eventually. And she is patient. She hums softly, sending her voice upward through the roots once more. The sound moves like water, spreading through the tree's veins, entering the dreams of gods and men alike. For those awake, it feels like a passing call. For those asleep, it becomes a path. They follow it downward, gently, without fear, until they find themselves standing within her silence. And when they arrive, she greets them the same way she always has. "Be still," she whispers, though her words are not sound but feeling. "Rest, you are home." Her presence flows around them like cool water. Their memories untangle. Their pain dissolves. They remember that they were never truly separate, that life and death are threads in the same tapestry. And she is the hand that holds the weave steady, The more she listens, the clearer the pattern becomes. Every soul, every breath, every echo of creation, all of it fits perfectly into the rhythm. There are no mistakes. There is only movement. And in that movement, she hears something she has not heard since before the beginning. Laughter. Soft, distant, free. It comes from everywhere and nowhere. From the stars being born in the farthest corners of the void. It sounds like joy, but also like awe. Hell realizes then that the universe is dreaming too. The whole of creation, gods, mortals, and stars alike, are part of a single vast sleep. And she is the dreamer within the dream, the one who remembers that it is all illusion and truth at once. This realization does not bring pride. It brings peace, because now she understands that her role was never about ruling the dead. It was about remembering the song when everyone else forgot the melody. She hums again, and the dream deepens. Her voice moves through oceans and mountains, through the hearts of newborns and the sighs of the dying. Everywhere she flows, she leaves behind stillness, not the silence of emptiness, but the silence that follows understanding. And as the worlds turn, as night follows day, and day becomes night again, her hum becomes the pulse that unites them. Even when no one speaks her name, she is there, in the breath between words, in the pause before music begins again. There will come another age. There will be new gods, new wars, new endings, but hell will not rise from her realm to stop them. She will wait, quietly, humming beneath it all, ready to gather what falls and sing it back into peace, for that is her gift. That is her truth. She is the dream within every dream, the silence that loves the sound enough to let it rest. The universe breathes, not in haste, not in chaos, but in the slow, patient rhythm of a heart that has learned to trust its own silence. Hell feels it move through her, a pulse stretching across the infinite. She has become its rhythm. She is the inhale and the exhale, the darkness and the faintest trace of light returning. Time has no meaning here, but change continues. The energy that once burned the worlds has cooled, settling into harmony again. The great tree Yggdrasil stands renewed, its branches heavy with new stars, its roots deep in the soil of every world that survived. From her unseen vantage, hell feels every vibration that flows through it, each leaf that grows, each river that begins, each cry of life emerging into being. All of them ripple through her awareness. She does not rule these things. She is these things. And yet, even in this boundless peace, she senses motion, a stirring in the vastness that surrounds creation. It is faint, subtle, like a breath before dawn, a reminder that existence never stops. Becoming. She focuses her awareness. Her consciousness moves along the great roots of Yggdrasil, traveling upward, through layer after layer of world. She passes through the shadowed remains of Helheim, now little more than memory, and feels no pain. She sees the faint shimmer of Midgard, green again, filled with oceans that reflect the sun. Mortals walk its lands once more. They tell stories of gods and monsters, of light and shadow. They remember the end, but not the peace that followed. Still, when they dream, she touches them. Her hum is the voice that lulls them to rest, the invisible comfort behind every quiet night. But she is not done. There is something higher still, a pulse that calls to her from beyond even the roots of the tree. It is the song of creation itself. The tone that began the first arc of existence. It hums now like a distant bell, and hell feels its pull. She has always been the keeper of endings, the listener of silence. But now, for the first time, she wonders if she might also become part of the beginning. She rises through the realms of thought and memory. Following that sound. It grows clearer with every motion. not louder, but deeper, like the resonance of a single note that fills all of space in its center. She senses warmth, not the fire of destruction, but the warmth of life. The two are not different anymore. She understands that now. Life and death, creation and ending, are merely the breath of the same being. As she reaches the uppermost plane, she finds herself standing, or rather, being, in a space of light so vast that form ceases to matter. The air vibrates with color: gold, blue, silver, violet. Each hue hums at a frequency that feels alive. This is not Asgard. This is not a world. It is the pulse between worlds. The place where potential gathers before taking shape. Here, the sound of the universe's heart is strongest. Hell lets the vibration move through her. Her hum joins with it naturally, like two notes finding harmony. For a moment, everything aligns: the roots, the branches, the stars, the quiet below, and the brilliance above. She sees the pattern, the endless cycle, as clearly as one sees a reflection in still water. It is all one song, one unbroken melody. She realizes then that her silence has never been separate from that song. It was always part of it. The rest between the notes, the breath that gives the music meaning. Without her stillness, the sound would have been noise. Without death, life would never pause long enough to be felt. In that understanding, she feels herself expand again. Her awareness becomes vast, enough to touch everything, from the sleeping children of Midgard to the newborn stars beyond the branches of the tree. She hears them all, singing in their own ways. The heartbeat of beasts, the rush of rivers, the sigh of the wind across mountains. All of them echo her. All of them are her. Then, from the deep beyond, something answers. It is not a voice, not even a sound, more like the memory of one. It speaks through vibration, through thought. Hell, it says, "Do you hear us?" She recognizes the resonance. It is the collective hum of every soul she has ever held. They are no longer drifting in her realm. They are stars, dreams, songs, light itself. They are alive again in new forms, and yet their awareness remains connected to her, the mother of quiet, the queen who never judged, the one who let them rest. "I hear you," she whispers. Though there is no mouth to speak. Her response ripples through the void. "We remember," they reply. "We remember your peace." A wave of emotion, not sorrow, not joy, but something greater, moves through her. It is gratitude. Pure, endless gratitude. She lets their hum merge with her own, creating a resonance so deep that it begins to shape the light around her. New patterns form, spirals, circles, expanding waves of energy that pulse outward like ripples on a cosmic ocean. It is creation, but gentler now, guided not by chaos or desire, but by balance. Her balance. She understands. She is no longer the keeper of the dead. She is the memory of peace that allows new life to begin without fear. Her silence has become the foundation on which the next age will rise. Below her, the roots of Yggdrasil glow brighter than ever. The tree hums with power, alive with color and movement. New worlds begin to form in the spaces where the old ones fell, not by force, but through harmony. The hum of her song fills the void, guiding the rhythm. Where once she gathered broken souls, she now gathers light. Hell closes her awareness for a moment and feels the entire cycle turning endless. Perfect. The living will rise. The dead will rest. The stars will burn and fade and burn again. And through it all, her hum will remain, keeping everything in tune. But even balance needs renewal. She senses that soon the cycle will turn fully, and her consciousness will fade into something even larger, not death, but surrender. Not silence. but the silence that gives birth to all sound, and she is ready. Before she releases herself completely, she sends one last vibration through the fabric of the world's dot. It carries no words, only feeling. You are safe. You have always been safe. The energy flows downward, through Yggdrasil's roots, into the soil, into the hearts of every sleeping creature. Dot becomes the rhythm of breath, the warmth of touch, the trust that keeps the living dreaming without fear. Then she lets go. Her awareness softens, dissolving into the light that surrounds her. She is no longer Hel the Queen, Hel the Listener, or Hel the Guardian. She is the hum between all things, invisible, infinite, eternal. Dot, and somewhere, in a quiet corner of the cosmos, a newborn child takes its first breath. Its tiny chest raises and falls, perfectly in time with her rhythm. Dot, the cycle continues. The song endures. The silence is everything now. Dot, it is not empty. Dot, it is full, full of sound too vast for hearing, full of light too gentle for sight. Hel is gone and not gone. There is no shape, no shadow, no name. And yet, her presence moves through the universe, like breath. The worlds rise and fall upon that breath. Galaxies turn within it. Dot, stars are born in its rhythm, has become the pulse that all things share. Dot, if one could listen closely enough, closer than sound, deeper than thought, one would hear it, a hum that never ceases, the quiet tone beneath all tones, soft but eternal. Dot, it does not command. Dot, it does not beg. Dot, it simply is. The stillness at the heart of every heartbeat, the rest between every song. This is what she always was. The gods gave her a throne and called her queen of the dead. Living gave her fear and called her darkness. But she was never those things. Dot, she was the pause, balance, the place where sound returns to silence, and silence gives birth to sound again. Dot, now, as she spreads through the fabric of creation, she feels everything that ever was, the warmth of suns, the cold of stone, the laughter of rivers, the sigh of clouds. Dot, all of it moves within her like memory. Dot, each thing alive, each thing dying, each thing resting. Dot, there is no separation. Dot, the breath of a mortal sleeping in Midgard is the same wind that stirs the stars, the heartbeat of a beast beneath. The ocean is the echo of thunder in the heavens. Dot, it is all one motion, one song, and she is its rhythm. She feels the world spinning again, new ones, small and fragile, growing from the light of the old. Their air is warm, their oceans young. Dot, tiny sparks of awareness flicker into being across them. She touches each one lightly, guiding without guiding, shaping without touching. Dot, not as a hand, not as a goddess, but as balance itself. Dot, she knows now that her work was never about keeping the dead. Dot, it was about teaching existence how to rest. Without rest, there is no growth. Dot, without endings, beginnings lose their meaning. She is not the end. Dot, she is the breath after the ending, the whisper that says continue. Everywhere, across countless realms, life begins again. Creatures crawl from oceans, forests rise from ash. Dot, beings look up at the stars and feel something vast staring back. Not a gaze, not a god, but a calm presence that hums beneath their hearts. Some call it destiny, some call it the music of the spheres, some simply call it peace. All of them are right. They are hearing her. She watches them, not with eyes, but with awareness, and feels no desire to intervene. For the first time, existence no longer needs her guidance. The cycle has remembered itself. Life flows into death, death flows into life, and the silence between them holds. Dot, it is enough. Dot, in this vastness, she drifts deeper. Dot, her awareness sinks past the worlds, past the stars, past even Yggdrasil's roots. Dot, there, beyond creation, lies something she has never touched, the space where all songs begin before they are sung. It is dark, but not lonely. It is empty, but not void. Is potential. Pure and unshaped. And in that potential, she senses others. They are not souls. They are not gods. They are tones, frequencies of being waiting for form. She listens to them, as she always has. Each one is soft, uncertain, trembling with the possibility of birth. She could join them, become something new, but she does not. She hums instead, giving them rhythm to follow. She teaches them balance, when to rise, when to fall, when to rest. And they learn. They become sound. They become light. They become worlds from the darkness. New universes bloom like flowers. Each one carries a fragment of her song. Each one hums the same gentle note, the one that began when she first whispered, "Be still." Now there are countless Helheims, though none bear her name, countless Midgards filled with life, countless Asgards, where the strong believe they are eternal, until they learn that eternity only exists because she remembers it. It is all her. It has always been her. And yet, within this infinite calm, something remains distinct, a single thread of her old self, small and warm. The echo of individuality. It drifts through her vast awareness like a candle flame, refusing to fade. It is not pride. It is curiosity. Even in infinity, she wonders, what will they become next? Will they learn to love the silence? Or will they fear it again? Will they call it death? Or will they finally understand it as peace? She does not try to answer. She knows the cycle must play again. Every note must rise, must fall, must be forgotten before it can be remembered. She smiles. Though she has no lips. It is enough to listen. It is enough to hum. Her song deepens once more. It rolls across the fabric of creation, a low vibration that passes through galaxies, through atoms, through dreams. Wherever it goes, things slow. Hearts steady. Minds soften. The living drift toward rest. If you listen now, truly listen, you can hear it too. It is the sound that lives beneath all others. Sound of breath between thoughts. The sound of peace beneath fear. The sound that reminds you that you are not separate from anything. You are the song, and she is the silence that holds you. Her hum becomes slower now, gentler, until it merges completely with the pulse of the universe. There is no difference between them anymore. The stars breathe in time with her. The oceans move with her rhythm. Every creature sleeping tonight dreams her dream, a dream of stillness, of calm, of endless belonging. And when those dreamers wake, they will not remember her name, they will not recall her story, but they will feel peace in their bones. They will take a deep breath and smile at the morning. And somewhere in that breath, in that smile, she will be Hell, not queen, not shadow, not death, just the hum beneath everything. The reminder that the universe is never ending, only resting. Now, as the last vibration fades, her presence expands until it fills all that is and all that will ever be. There is no before, no after, only the rhythm of being. The hum softens once more, until it becomes indistinguishable from your own breath. Listen, you can hear her now, not in words, but in the quiet behind them. That is her gift. That is her eternity. The song of hell, the queen who knew no fear, the silence that dreams. And as the final echo dissolves into stillness, all things, gods, mortals, stars, and you drift together into rest. Her hum fades into your heartbeat, and you become part of the same song. Sleep now. You are home.